May 15th, 2015. What a day.
Fabian Michael Cunha did then and there recklessly drive a motor vehicle upon a public road, U.S. Highway 90, willful disregard for the safety of persons and property by then and there traveling at an unsafe speed on Highway 90, traveling through traffic lanes with heavy traffic, placing other drivers in danger, fleeing from police officers who are actively attempting to arrest and detain the operator of the motor vehicle.
What I can remember is going to work that day in Austin, as I do quite often. Drove up there, drove back, let's say, I don't know, let's guess around 3 p.m. And I was hurrying back, driving in my Toyota Yaris to my parents' house, which I had my bike at. I could have just stopped right there. I could have just kept driving to Hondo in the Yaris and probably even saved some time that way. But I had so much fun riding the bike that I decided that I needed to go home and pick up the bike to ride it to Hondo. Ironically, to go pay a ticket. So, yeah, always late. Y'all know that I'm always late. I still to this day I'm never on time, and I had to get to the courthouse by 5 o'clock. So I was like, I need to get there the quickest way possible, and yeah, I knew that my bike would get the job done. So, anyways, and I had friends waiting for me at TC's for happy hour margaritas. Excited,
Priorities,
like,
right? Yep.
Yeah, I was super excited to haul ass down there, get this ticket paid, and then haul ass back for some TC's.
So you're heading to Hondo to pay a ticket. What ticket were you going to pay in Hondo?
I believe it was a speeding ticket, which makes sense.
Was that speeding ticket on the bike or was it?
No, I had never gotten a ticket on the bike before. All tickets before that had been in my car.
Okay.
So when you got to the bike, how fast would you say you were going?
When I got home to the bike, like driving home?
No, when you switched to the bike.
When I switched to the bike, immediately. I don't think I ever drove the bike under 100 miles an hour. Like, on the highway, under 100 miles an hour. That was cruising speed. Like, yeah.
You said you had a need for speed.
Every day. I was the guy that, when you're driving in the car, like with your mom or your family, and somebody like hauls ass, like doing a wheelie or like weaving through traffic, or like, I don't know, just the typical idiot. You know what I mean? Like, what an idiot. Well, look at that guy. He just wants to die. Or like he's, I don't know what's like. Yeah, I was that guy. And I was young. I think I was 21, 22 years old or something like that. And so, I mean, I didn't really have any fear for my life or any regard for it at that point.
Well, I'll jog your memory. You were driving approximately 130 miles an hour or faster.
That sounds about right. So, yeah, like I said, 100 was like the low. So, like, that was like me going 30 miles an hour.
As you're driving to Hondo, when did you notice the police officers were following you?
It honestly happened pretty quick. I mean, I live on the SeaWorld side of town, so I hopped on 1604, probably, and then got to 90, and was immediately like hauling ass down there. And when I got to right at the entrance of Cashville, like right where you can start seeing like the city of Cashville, I noticed that there was a cop there, and I was already driving stupid, like just weaving through traffic, like making the bike go left and right, just like swinging, vibing. I had the music in my ears. I don't know what I was listening to, but I couldn't. So
what was going through your mind when you saw the police officer? You're just like committed to it already?
Yeah, I really had no fear of police officers anymore because I don't know the exact amount, but I had ran from the cops at least 7 times before this, and I had never gotten caught.
Lord have mercy.
So I just
7 times. 7 times
on the bike. Yeah, I never ran from the cops like in a car. I was never gonna get away like that. But slowly, I started to build more and more arrogance and confidence. I think I kept I had two bikes. The first one wasn't as fast as the one that I got in trouble with. But it didn't really matter. Like all I cared about was just getting away and the rush. Like y'all know me. I'm pretty adrenaline junkie-ish. Like the bike didn't do it enough. Like I had to be running from the cops. Like so. And I was always told that that the cops, they would only pursue you to a certain point, to avoid getting in an accident themselves or causing an accident with other vehicles. And so I knew that if I just like showed them that I wasn't afraid, that they were eventually gonna give up. And like I said, I slowly started to build more confidence. I remember, running from one. I ran from a bike cop actually one time on the way to Austin, and I thought it was pretty surprising that I had gotten away. But like that one was big. Like I just had basically you just had to have bigger balls than the cops in order to get away from them, like do things that they weren't willing to do. And this actually one of the more recent times before I got in trouble, I was with some friends driving out to Bernie, and I don't know if y'all have heard this story before, but we were coming back from the river or the lake, and there was a cop, like I could probably see him from half a mile away, and me just being like dumb, young, ballsy, I saw him and sped up as I got closer to him. Like I was going probably like 60, 70, already speeding, and I sped past him at like 100 miles an hour, and I had multiple cops on my tail, like at least 5 cops like in pursuit on I-10, and that's a whole nother story.
Coming from San Antonio or back to San Antonio?
So going back to San Antonio, but at that time I accidentally made the mistake of heading out I-10 towards far away, towards Cali, you know what I mean, not towards San Antonio. So that time was crazy. I had to go off road. I had to like hide under a bridge. I had to drive between two 18-wheelers on the way back to San Antonio in order to like evade, like, because there was cops still waiting for me on the way back. So me driving in between two 18-wheelers was my best, in my head.
Damn, some Need for Speed type stuff.
My best plan, so nobody would see me coming back.
Damn.
And like the whole time, like I'm just like shaking, heart pumping. But I get back and I'm received by the people who saw me doing it. I was at the lake and river with friends, and they saw me immediately like do that on purpose and take off, and they were like, "Oh shit, like he's fucked, like he's not gonna make it back." So I get back to Aspen Heights on my bike, and they're already like at the pool, like everybody's drinking, like they're playing volleyball and stuff, and I'm just like, damn, were y'all not worried about me? But they heard the bike coming, and they were like hyped as fuck, like, oh, what the, like, how did you make it back? Like, bro, we thought you were done for. Like, we thought you were either dead or gonna get arrested. Damn. And so, like, I can remember kind of receiving that, and that was like more feedback to feel the fire of me, like, oh yeah, like this is cool. Like, I don't have to worry about the cops anymore.
So that day, May 15th, what was going through your mind when you actually saw them like pulling you over? Like, you obviously weren't gonna stop. So what was going through your mind?
Yeah, I had never stopped before, so I wasn't gonna stop this time. Like I said, it was just built into me, a habit. I was like, and I honestly, I had no idea of the kind of trouble that you could get into for doing this kind of thing. You know, I guess in my head, I probably was just like, slap on the wrist, like I'll get a misdemeanor, or I didn't think I was gonna go through all the trouble that I went through. So, but I definitely had no intention of stopping ever. And if I wouldn't have gotten in trouble this time, I probably would have never stopped, like, for a cop.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, clearly they stopped after they said, "Please stop."
Yeah. So, so it started at the very edge of Castroville. Like I said, I was already driving pretty fast and like weaving through traffic. And he tried to pull me over, or at least I saw him right away. There was no like, "Oh, I didn't see you, officer." No, I saw him right away in my rear views, and I looked back. I even looked at him and was like, "All right, we're gonna do this." Yeah. And, so Castroville's a pretty small town. If you've ever driven through there, it's got like, I don't know, 4 stoplights or something like that. But it felt like things escalated like really quickly. as soon as I hit the first red light, I didn't stop for the red light. Like I just ran through traffic. Like it wasn't like stop, like look left, look right. Like it was just run the light. And after that, I could see the cop getting more aggressive, and the rest of the red lights. And this is a small town. Like I said, the speed limit is probably like 40 miles an hour. I'm probably going like 100 through these red lights, and like you can just like it's just a mess. Like there's just a lot of stuff going on. Like it's probably 4 o'clock, which I mean there's not a lot of traffic in Castroville, but as many people as there can be out in Castroville were out at the time. And then I just noticed like cop after cop after cop, like at each light, like everyone was alerted. Like, bro, the freaking tornado siren went off, and like they were like, "Hey, we got like a freaking lunatic running through Castroville right now." But
How many total cop cars do you think you saw that day trying to pull you over?
uh, I don't know. I wish I could count them, but like I said, there was at least like probably 7 cops like in pursuit, and it just kept building and escalating as I got further along. So apparently the documents say that I ran for 28 miles.
Approximately 28
Yeah,
miles.
starting in Castroville, and there's nothing but small towns between Castroville and where I ended up getting in trouble. So
So that kind of leads us into what footage we do have of that day.
I was pretty surprised to get this stuff from my lawyer. I don't want to spoil the ending, but I did get arrested. So I'm not exactly sure at what point of the Highway 90 I was, but going Highway 90 towards Del Rio, if you're familiar with the area. And this officer was pulling somebody over.
No fine. We got a pursuit like 2 miles up the road, so you may just want to wait here till we get past, okay?
And this person is super lucky because they just got a warning for, they were breaking the law, doing whatever they were doing, but what was happening with me and my pursuit was more important, so the officer let them go and told them, hey, we got a guy coming this way, hot pursuit, like so you might want to like just chill out right here, so you're not involved in any kind of accident or anything like that. So, let's see. Yeah, so it started off like with a few cops, and then as they kept going, like I said, more and more kept popping up. And I've always heard like you can't outrun the radio. Like there's always gonna be somebody in the next county like waiting for you, somebody else waiting for you. So as I get past cops, I'm like, okay, cool. Like I got past these three, like they're way behind me. But then another 5 miles would go by, and there would be another cop like just waiting, and then another 5 miles there'd be another cop just waiting. And so this just continued going on, for miles and miles. And I knew in my head, like, all right, I'm already like invested in this. Like, I might as well see it all the way through. So, yeah, I kept going, and I just, like, I don't even know what I was thinking was gonna happen, but I knew that I was getting further away from San Antonio, which is like a safety belt for me. You know what I mean? It's like if I'm in San Antonio,
You know what
I'm getting away. Yeah, I know where to go. I know hiding places. I know
Yeah.
this and that. But bro, I'm heading towards Mexico. Like that's the next stop.
I mean, after San Antonio, there's not much out there. There's nowhere really to hide. There's no
Yeah.
bridges. There's no cities. No.
Yeah,
It's just flat
it's pretty
land.
Flat,
It's
one
just-
one highway going one direction. If you branch
Two-lane
off,
road.
yeah, you branch off at any of these little country roads, and you're who knows where you're going. You end up somewhere that
So what's the cop
you
doing
never
right
seen
here?
before. So this officer already knows that I'm coming, and he's just like waiting. He's like, I know he's coming this way, and pretty soon you should see me go by. It doesn't take very long. And
Sounds like here you come.
there we go. All you hear is the little,
Wherever the engine.
and you can't even see me. I'm already out of frame in like, I don't know, 3 seconds or something like that. And who knows how? I think this guy had a Charger, if I can remember correctly. So these go pretty fast, but I was maxing out the bike as much as I could. The fastest I ever gone was probably this day. It was going to about 165 on the bike, miles an hour. And yeah, I knew that people could kind of hear me coming, and you can see like cars getting out of the way, and like they know like there's something going on. But I mean, I don't know. I've never seen anything like this myself, so I wouldn't even know how to react.
Only on cops.
Yeah, only on cops. Like, yeah, if you like watching cops, like this is probably enjoyable to you. So this is actual footage from the cop car, like that was given to me by my lawyer. You know, so this is something that I never thought I would get to see. I thought that memory was just gonna live in my head forever, and I was just gonna have to tell the story and like hope that people believe me that this actually happened. But
How does it feel watching it?
I don't know. If I'm being honest, like it doesn't.
Does it feel surreal?
Like watching how fast he's going, and like just knowing, like, man,
You were going faster?
Yeah, I was going faster. Like, I don't know, man. It takes me back to definitely to that time, and like I can remember what it felt like to go fast on a bike, and like I don't know. At some point, you hit a speed where like nothing can knock you off. Like you're going so fast, you're like cutting through the wind, and like these bikes are made to like cut through the wind. So I'm like head down, like full on. All I'm looking at probably is like the speed just a little bit, and like just what
What's in
cars are
front of
ahead of
you,
me.
yeah.
Like this is like playing, I don't know, a video game on 10, and you're like freaking. Your sensitivity is like you can't turn, like you
Right.
can only go straight and make like slight movements.
So this is happening in between Castroville and Hondo.
I think this is already past Hondo. This is getting towards the end a little bit. So, like I said, I knew that I was going away from San Antonio, and I'm like, this is not good. I probably need to find somewhere to turn back around, and
Oh,
no.
he
So-
got up to.
yeah. Well, I decided to slow down. I was like, I need another plan. Like this is not gonna work. So I just tried slowing down, and then my thought was I'm gonna slow down and mess around and then haul ass again. So everybody has to slow down rather than like keeping it at a constant rate of speed.
Why didn't you just?
Keep going.
Right here,
Oh no!
I slipped, man. I slipped, and I'm pretty sure the bike stalled out, and it weighs almost 420 pounds, and I had to pick that thing up like as quick as I possibly could because look at all this.
That adrenaline was pumping. Took it up like
One's chasing me. There's already number 2 right there behind
that's
me.
3 cops.
You know, there's people behind in pursuit, and like I said, I remember it being wet and stuff.
Ah, here we go.
There we go. There we go. Looking slow. I already know I'm putting up the visor so I can see a little better. I'm huffing and puffing. Like this is like full on workout heart rate. You can hear him. He's pissed, bro. This guy. This is the cop's mic, I believe. Like he had one on his person, so you can hear exactly what he's saying. He ran. He was gonna get out and try and chase me too, but you know I put that speed on him. I put them jets on him, and the boy decided to get back in his car and come the other way. But I remember running through the Valero here in slow motion, man. Like seeing people's reaction. Like nobody knows like who I am, what I'm capable of.
You
what
could
I'm
have robbed the
doing.
bank for all they know.
Yeah, like I was saying, things were not going fine, but I could have just kept going. Obviously, the gas tank on a motorcycle is less than a gas tank on a car, and you know, like I said, I just kept seeing more and more cops. I'm like, no, like this is not the direction I need to be going. Like this is not gonna work out. Freaking. I don't know where I'm going, and you know, I just like in my head I'm like I got to get back to that safety blanket of San Antonio.
And ditching the bike was your best idea.
No, I wasn't even trying to ditch it, to be honest. I really wasn't. Like, bro, I knew my bike was my lifeline. Like, if I lose the bike,
You're done.
yeah, you're done.
So at this point, you basically just accepted defeat.
All this is happening like in a split second. I'm like, okay, where's the easiest way from like me to like do this turnaround and not get like killed? Because like there's still cars going both ways,
Right.
like 60 or 70 miles an hour. So I decided to pull into that what looked like an abandoned gas station, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this little turnaround. But like you can't turn a bike like a car, and I wish I had the skills to like drift it, but I didn't. And so I tried to make that turn, and I think it was a little
Loose
bit of loose
gravel.
mud or loose dirt, something like that. That's what caused the first slip, and the bike like spun out, and like I panicked immediately. I'm like, dude, the bike is like, I don't know, the bike had turned off or like stalled out, so I had to put it back in gear, revved it. Like, bro, the bike could have just easily like freaking did the, I don't know, whatever you call it, like whiskey, they call it whiskey throttle, and like just took off out of my hands. But like luckily, I guess I had enough composure in the moment to like get it back into first, and who knows what gear I put it in. And so after that, I was like, damn, like what the hell, like what am I gonna do? Okay, I got back up on the bike. I'm riding super slow like through the parking lot, and you can see on the other footage, there's another cop that turns into that. He got there like just in time because I would have exited the way that he came in, but the way he came in, he cut me off and like probably got like 5 feet from me in the bike. So I was like, I stopped. I hit the brakes. I was like, holy shit! Like this cop's about to like hit me with the Tahoe. I'm like, so I'm pretty scared. Like at this point, I'm like, I don't know what they're gonna do. Like I'm already thinking like freaking spike strips, helicopters, like I don't know what.
Everything you see on the movie.
Bro, no, I was level 2 stars on GTA at this point. Like, and rising. Like the further I would have gone, the more the stars would have went up. And like I don't know. I always say like it was just a really bad idea to run from like some country cops like this or like some sheriffs and stuff, because like I don't know how many like exciting things happen out there. So like anytime they get a chance to do like a high pursuit, it's like it's probably as much of an adrenaline rush for them as it was
Oh,
for
for
me.
sure. Don't
Like,
doubt it.
Call the cavalry, baby. Like we got one, and like that's what they
He
did.
said call the cavalry.
That's what they did, bro. We're gonna get this motherfucker. So, so yeah, that cop with the Tahoe, he blocked off my exit and almost hit me. He was like 5 feet away from me, and I was like, oh damn it. So, still not thinking like completely, logically. There was a curb, and then a little patch of like dirt and grass, and then another curb to get back to the Valero to where all these people were at. So I'm like, I need to get back on concrete. Like I have no other way to go. And so I decided to like try and bunny hop this curb, and you can't really see it in the video because the cop car isn't like facing that direction. But what happened was, me like freaking, I have street tires, so I hopped that curb and I hit all this mud, and like all the tires do is like spin, and like the same thing that happened in the first like spin out, it spun out again, and I lost the bike. And I was like, I think I tried probably to get it back up and like get going, but at this point like the officer was already like getting out of his car and was like coming towards me, and I'm like, all right, I'm about to get like, I don't know,
Ambushed.
yeah, like I'm about to get tackled. So yeah, at that point I knew that the bike had to stay there. And I don't know, I could have easily just, looking at the list, like I could have avoided like a lot of other steps and a lot of.
What list are you talking about, Fabian?
Already at this point, I'm at evading arrest with a motor vehicle, which is a felony, which I had no idea that it was a felony at all. Like, I mean, bro, I'm like 2021. I'm not reading law books. I don't. I'm thinking misdemeanor at the worst, and like I don't know, it's just nothing serious. Like I'm like, this is not like that big a deal. Like I see this on Instagram or I see this on YouTube, and like I'm constantly watching videos of like dudes running away, and like nobody ever gets to the end and tells you like you're gonna get a freaking felony. Like, yeah, I guess I should have watched the video all the way through, but anyway, that didn't. So yeah, instead of just stopping right there and admitting defeat, I decided to run through the Valero parking lot. And I mean, I don't know, it's kind of like I said, it all happened real bang bang, but you see somebody chasing after you, and it's hard to just say like, all right, I'm gonna stop. Like, I don't know, I guess my immediate thing was like fight or flight, and like I decided like, all right,
You were right in the way, but
it was either that or like, yeah,
you're gonna get beat regardless.
yeah,
the way I
yeah,
see it,
I'm
right?
like, yeah, I'm like, am I getting into hand-to-hand combat with a cop to like get my bike back or something? Like, no. So yeah, I just decided to book it, and I have a backpack on. I'm wearing Chucks, like some baggy jeans. I might not even have like a belt on. I don't know. So it looks like I'm running like pretty slow, which, I don't know. Like I felt like I was running fast, but I mean.
So speaking of what you were wearing, here on the report, it says I observed the male's vest to be made of plastic and struck the male with a closed fist in an attempt to subdue the male and effect the arrest. The male continued to not comply, and it
Yeah.
appeared the male was still attempting
Hold-
to
hold.
get to his feet.
So I'm running through the Valero parking lot as fast as I can, and there's a barbed wire. You know, I had no other choice to get away. Like I'm not gonna like carefully climb over this fence. So I'm running through Valero parking lot, like looking left and right, and just seeing like the shock on these people's faces. Like, what the hell is going on? Like this is a full parking lot, full gas station, and like nobody really knows what to do. I don't think, and like so. Anyways, I'm running towards this barbed wire fence, and I'm like, all right, like we're doing this, and so I don't know. It's probably like a 4 or 5 foot barbed wire fence, and like I can't jump 4 or 5 feet, so but I can Superman over this fence. So that's what I decided to do. Like I'm running full sprint, bro, like full sprint, and like probably gave me more confidence that I have a helmet on and a vest.
Facts.
So I I just freaking fly over this fence, and like I can't even. I'm pretty sure in my head it was super cool. I probably like tucked and rolled and like kept going, which is what I did. So, anyways, I'm flying over this barbed wire fence, knowing that I mean, unless this cop has like hops or balls, like he's probably not gonna like do what I did. So, I run into this field, and I believe it's a school. This is probably like Johannes Elementary or something like that, and so I run probably about 100 yards, and I can hear, or eventually I'm like, there's nobody behind me, and I just turn around and kind of like slow motion, like Shia LaBeouf Transformers, like where everything's going crazy, like there's bombs going off, and it's just like slow motion. I'm just like looking at the whole scene. I can see cops over here to the left, cops to the right. I could see them like carefully getting over the fence and stuff, and I don't know. That's when I knew, like, this is over.
He said, "I'm waving the white flag."
This is over, bro. Like, I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen right now, but my bike is over there. I don't know, 40 miles out of San Antonio. Like, I don't know where I'm at. Like, where am I gonna run to? Like, this is it. Like, so basically, I give up. So I face away from the officers and my bike and everything, and I either, like, it's a little blurry at this point, but I either put my hands behind my head or my hands behind my back, and that's the position of surrender to me, and I get down on my knees, like, because I'm like, I don't want to be standing up. I don't know, I don't want them freaking, I mean, this is like 2015, so I don't know how often it was happening, but like I said, they have no idea who I am. Like, they could have shot me, they could have, I don't know, like, luckily, like, these were not like gun-ho cops, but yeah, so I'm on my hands and knees, and
Fucking bastard. Let me call, man.
So
Don't let me
fucking
fall, man.
bastard. I have never been arrested or anything like this, right? But I do know that if you make a cop have to chase you and he ends up gonna catch you, that you're probably gonna get your butt whooped for it. So
Yeah.
you're expecting that to happen?
No.
So you thought that you put your hand behind your back there, was like, oh, okay, no, thanks for surrendering? Nah, there's no way.
Real sweet. I was like, all right, like, hey, this is my best course of action, like, if I want things to de-escalate. But this is 30 miles later, already, like, endangered myself and these cops and stuff, and so yeah, like I said, the whole time I just thought everything was gonna be nice and I was gonna be fine, and I don't know, bro, like, that's just my positive attitude. I can still carry that to this day. But so yeah, I get down hands and knees, or hands behind my back or on my head, and I'm just like waiting. I can hear it, bro. I start hearing footsteps getting closer and closer, and I'm like, oh, here it comes. But like, obviously, like, the footsteps, they don't slow down, and so whoever the first officer was to get there freaking spears me, bro. Like, spears me.
So that's illegal hit in football, bro.
You just saw that video that came out like 2 days ago with the guy proposing, right, to his girl in
Dodger Stadium. Yeah.
That's how I got hit, bro. So immediately, like, my face goes into the ground, and I smack, and, like, they start basically like beating my ass, and then like I'm like, bro, I thought I was giving up already. Like I thought I was good, and then that's where George was at in the point where like he was reading the statement from the officer.
Right. Well, there's a statement right here, and it says the male did not comply, and it appeared the male was attempting to get back to his feet. The deputy tased the male with a drive stun and had no effect on the male. Yeah, my man got that dog in him.
Yeah, I definitely remember feeling that first taser, and I was kind of like, I don't know, man. Everything was happening like so fast and so slow at the same time that I was like, that doesn't hurt. Like, is that that's a taser? Like, that's what the hell? Like, I'm getting tased right now, but it didn't hurt enough to where I was like on the ground, like fishing out, like just like it can, like I probably was the adrenaline pumping or like he didn't get a good like contact or something like that, but. Bro, I swear, like, in my head, and I don't think I was, like, I had already had my hands behind my back, so I'm like, I'm giving up, like, I'm trying to give up, but I think what they were trying to do was, like, get their blows in, you know what I mean? Like,
oh, for sure.
F this guy, like, we're about to make him pay, like, for what happened. So, like, I'm pretty sure, like, I'm trying, like, they're saying stop resisting while they're like hitting me, bro. They're probably like holding my hands down, like so I'm can't and like, bro, they're beating my ass, right? And but I don't like really feel too bad. Like it doesn't hurt that much. But anyways, I'm trying. I'm probably yelling back at them. Like I don't think I have any audio of like with the tasing and all that stuff going on. I don't know if that got lost or if that was ever a thing, but.
That's when they turn that part off.
Yeah.
They get there and like, all right.
Off, bro. All that stuff.
Oh, it died.
So, yeah, the first taser, and I'm trying to like, bro, it hurts enough. Like they're beating my ass. I'm trying to like, I'm not resisting. Like I'm not trying to. I'm trying to put my hands behind my back. They're not having it. They're not hearing it. So I don't know what else does it say after that.
Well, like George said, it says that. They struck you with a closed fist. They saw that you were wearing a plastic vest. So then they tased you again. And then they had effect on you the second time. And then they hear you go, they hear you shout, okay, okay.
Yeah.
And then you place your hands behind your back.
Yeah, once you get to that second taser, that's when you...
What does that feel like? I ain't never been tased. Obviously, you didn't feel the first time, so what did it feel the second time?
Yeah. It feels like the mix between... Well, I mean, it's exactly what it is. It's like a needle, like getting a shot, like in your arm, but also that shot that you're getting in your arm has like the E-stim, like the one that you use for like physical therapy and stuff. So like you can feel like your body,
like this muscle,
yeah. And I think with the first one I got hit in the back, and then the second one they hit me in the ass, right ass cheek, and yeah, that one hurt. And like I said, I was already trying to like give up. I was already done. I was like. I wasn't trying to resist. They say I was trying to resist.
But you were resisting for the last 28 miles.
Yeah. So, yeah.
You made them work harder than what they wanted to.
They had to get their licks in. They had to get their licks in. And, I don't blame them for it. I don't have no hard feelings. Like, if they say I wasn't resisting arrest, then I guess I was resisting arrest. But, that second taser really took a toll on me. And, that one hurt for days. And I had marks, like, from both of the tasers. Like, I had marks on my back, like, from the first one. And I had marks on my ass from the second one. So, I was showing everybody, like, hey, look, check out my ass. Like, I got tased. Like an idiot. Like, yeah.
All right, one last thing from the report that I want to read. It says, I asked Fabian what was the reason that he did not stop when the police officers were chasing him. Fabian told me he was afraid of the fines that he had just tacked on. I told Fabian after he got the bike stopped, he ran on foot. I asked Fabian after he got the bike stopped, he ran on foot. Fabian told me he did not know why he was running in the first place. Come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure these guys thought I had like some kind of deep reason, like.
Yeah, like you didn't have no warrants out for your arrest or nothing. No, you just decided that.
I was just going to pay a ticket. No drugs, no guns. I wasn't drinking.
You was wild.
I was a stand-up citizen. I think I was a student at the time. I had a good job. No red flags whatsoever. I mean, I don't think anybody knew that I was already running from the cops like multiple times and like driving like an ass all the time. But yeah, I was a straight edge kid and just that edge. I kind of play with that edge a little bit. Bike ain't that fast. Ain't it? You can hear my music. What song was I listening to? It's ASAP.
Yeah, it's not like ASAP.
Let It Bang? I don't want to hurt anybody. That's what I said. I'm the only one that's going to die. That's what I said. He said dummies don't die. I'm at this point, like, bro, I'm all the Billy Badass is over. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm arrested. Like, the jig is up. But I want to find out what song I was listening to at that point, because that, like,
That sets the mood, right?
Yeah, like, I'm pretty sure I had like can you pause it again real quick, bro? I'm pretty sure. I mean, like, anytime I was riding, I was listening to music, and so like that's
sure.
also a thing where, like,
I mean, what you listen to plays
yeah,
a part
yeah, it does. And, like, bro,
your decision making, right?
Like, you don't. I mean, you're not listening to, like, Shania Twain or something. You're listening to, like, Tupac,
Frank Sinatra or some shit.
or the Police kind
Yeah.
of stuff. And you can't hear anything else. Like, you can hear the bike, because the bike is loud as hell. Like, bro, I used to run laps around 1604 by Whataburger, and my boys would be, like, chilling in West Creek, and they could hear everything. Like, bro, they could hear me all the way to, like, Culebra or something, like, because I was just hauling ass. Like, I would just do this for fun, and the bike was super loud, but, like, that music was always, like, banging in your ear too, like, max volume. Like, I could, like, you could hear cop sirens and stuff, like, that was loud. But I mean, bro, if, like, somebody were to honk at you, like, you're not gonna hear that. But it didn't really matter to me at that point. Like, obviously, like, safety wasn't a priority. So yeah, the cops are pissed, man. This dude especially, like, and they're asking me questions like, you know, what's going on, like, why'd you run? Like, at this point, I'm still guilty until proven innocent. And so, I mean, they had to do what they had to do. And, man, I'm pretty sure they were shocked and surprised to find out that I didn't have any real good reason to run. They were like, damn, like, this guy just
Just an adrenaline
this is one of them
junkie.
days. Like, damn,
Oh,
this
man.
was just a regular Friday, and turned into, I don't know, probably definitely like a life defining day or, like, moment. So, yeah, there's some other footage or audio of Officer. I'm just gonna say Officer E. He was, like, the short Mexican dude. And, you know, he's doing the same thing. Like, obviously, when they're asking you questions, and you're in the moment, like, if you're not criminally trained or, like, smart, you're just answering their questions, not knowing that you're admitting to guilt right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
They're like, as soon as they ask you, why did you run? If you give them an answer, why, that means, yes, I did run, knowingly that there was cops behind me. And, like, I wasn't thinking like that. I wasn't like, yeah, I was just answering his questions, like, talking to him like a normal dude. You know what I mean? Like, cops, they say they talk nice. They do talk nice. They talk to you nice, and, you know, you just answer the questions. But, you know, if I would have known better, I probably would have just, like, kept my mouth shut and, you know, done something else. I don't know.
Taking the beat.
Yeah, I don't know. I always think of, like, alternate plans of, like, what would have happened. Like, you know, what if I did decide to, like,
Just keep going down 90.
yeah, what if I did decide to keep going down 90? Where would I end
How
up?
far would you have gone?
Would I have made it? Like, would
Yeah.
I have, like, crashed the bike? Would they have gotten more aggressive? Like, dude, imagine if I crashed at 160 miles an
Dude,
hour.
what if they put the strip
Yeah.
on the bike, bro? That'd
Yeah.
be wild, dog.
That would be wild. I don't know.
Sentenced to death.
Yeah, dude, I mean,
Bro, I couldn't imagine that.
they used to hang people for less out there. So, you know, I don't know what they were willing to do. And I wasn't really
Trying to find out.
yeah, trying to find out. But I also think about what would have happened if I would have just, you know, like, kept running, like, on foot, like, where I would have ended up. Could I have hid?
Well, that's tough, though, because, like you said, you're out in Hondo. There's not much. It's just flat and farmland.
Yeah,
If you're in the city, I can see you running because you got neighborhoods you can run through, especially where we're from. You know, we know the whole area, right?
yeah,
But you're out here, bro, you're going to run for 10 acres. They're going to see you for 10 acres because there ain't nothing to hide behind.
yeah. I think my best scenario that I drew out in my head after this happened, which would have been, like, probably gotten me in way worse trouble. So it's actually good that this happened. But my best case scenario was, like, say I get away from them on foot, and I'm able to hide and get away, and I don't
The
get
bike.
caught. Nobody sees me. Just the bike's still back there, but I'm
It's registered.
I evade arrest, but somebody stole my bike. And the
Okay.
guy who was riding the bike is not me, and that's why he's running away from the cops, just
I
because he
can see
stole
that.
that.
You have to have a solid alibi,
Solid
though.
alibi, baby. And, you know,
You'd have to have a
that's
solid
just
alibi.
that's just the kind of, I'm not that kind of liar. Like,
Yeah.
that's another level of lying. There's like lying to your parents, there's like lying to the teacher, things like that. Then there's like lying to the cops, and like,
Yeah.
the judge is gonna get your ass eventually. But I think that might have flew, for a little bit, and then I probably would have just.
So after you got arrested, where did they take you, and how did that process go?
So there's some footage of me, from another dash cam. Like I said, I think from Officer E's truck, and they're walking me back through the same parking lot that I ran through, and you can see me coming back like bloody nose, like I'm beat up, bro, and I'm beat up and defeated, like, so I'm like hella down, like hella sad, like I'm like, I don't know, like just marching back to this cop car, like pissed. And so yeah, they keep me by the car for a while. They take all my gear off. I'm pretty sure music is still playing on the headphones, which is like crazy, like a soundtrack to your life. And so yeah, they take all my stuff off, take everything off me. I'm able to keep my shirt and pants and shoes and stuff. But other than that, they're searching and they're not finding anything. So they're probably like, "What the hell, man? Why are you running?" Like, they're trying to get answers, and I'm just giving them pretty short answers. I'm like I said, I'm pretty bummed. Like, I'm still a young kid who has never gotten in this much trouble in his
Serious
life.
trouble, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah. So I get in the car, and they start telling me I'm still real ignorant and oblivious as to how much trouble I'm in, and they're like, we're taking you to Medina County Jail, and I'm like, fuck, like, I'm really going to jail right now. But I'm thinking, like, I'm just there. Like, I had slight run-ins with the cops and never gotten in any trouble, like for fights or, a speeding ticket or things like that. And so, I don't know. I didn't think this was like, I don't know why. I didn't think this was like much of an upgrade from those kinds of things. Like, I thought I would maybe, I would go there, they do their paperwork, tell me what's going on, what I'm in trouble for, and then I literally probably thought, I think at the time I thought that like I was gonna get my bike and be on my way like that same night. That's how ignorant I was to the fact.
Did you ever get your bike back?
I never got my bike back to this day. So yeah, if anybody's wondering, it was a 2009 Yamaha R6, and I can't remember how long I've had it, but
How much was that bike?
7,000 cash. Yep, it was a beautiful bike. I loved it. I still love that bike. But
From afar.
yeah, from afar. So they ended up seizing my bike, and like, I don't know. It used to be a lot more because I had to go to Hondo for like court and stuff like that. I would go back, and like, they don't have it like in a nice garage or something. Like, this is Hondo. Like, it's under like a shed, and you can go up to a fence and probably see it from like 30 yards away. Like, you can see the bike, and you can tell it's mine. It's bright blue and white, and it's just sitting there. It's just like collecting dust. Like, nobody's riding it, nobody's selling it, nothing. So I used to go back and see it a lot, and like just like be at the fence, like holding the fence, like, a little tear would come down. And so, I'm trying to think of when the last time I went over there was, but anytime I go to like out that way, I just make a stop by there and see if it's still there, because like, yeah, I still don't have it to this day. Like, and that's probably, I don't know, that's one of the things that hurts the most. Like, is not having the bike. Like, that, one, that costs a lot of money, and two, like, that was like one of the best times of like my life, like riding. Like, dude, every like, and that's why, a lot of people might not understand like why you would put yourself in so much danger. And it takes a certain type of person, but I think it could be anybody to get on a bike and feel it once, and it's as exciting as you know getting on a pedal bike, and like you have like you just feel like a little kid, like you have bliss, like there's just you're free, and uh you know you could be driving to go pay a ticket like I was, and you're still gonna have fun doing it. You know what I mean? Like it's not gonna be as bad because I don't know, the bikes just do something to you. Like it just feels so good. So
So speaking of costing a lot of money, what was the damage?
The total damage.
Total damage, like
What
that
you
you
had
had
to
to go
pay
through.
man, so
or charged you with.
yeah, so I'll go back and like list everything like later on, but um, I estimate, and dude, I could be lowballing. I estimate at least $20,000, like because of all the legal fees, the bike, all that's like just everything $20,000 minimum that I just gave away,
Out of your pocket.
just
Yeah.
blowed, just fire, like
$20,000, lost your bike, broken face,
Yeah.
tased twice.
yep.
Besides
all
the
that.
the money, what else did you have to do? Like, what were the repercussions of that stay?
So at the end of the day, um, I was charged with evading arrest with a motor vehicle, which is a felony, and that was the big one. Reckless driving, resisting arrest, on and evading arrest. Like I don't know how all those like break down, but I got tapped on 4 different charges, and I got 2 years probation and 180 hours of community service. Um, so, like I said, I want to touch more on those like in a little bit, but we were at I think the point where I'm going to jail, and I'm in the car, and it's a pretty closest drive from Dehanis, I don't know how you say it, to Hondo, and that's where the jail was, and I'm booked in. I come in with a bloody nose, like I probably look like a psycho, like to these dudes that are already in there, like people can see you, like from the cells or whatever, this little holding block, and you know, I like I said, the memory is vague, man. This is like 8 years ago, but I'm pretty sure I knew, or in my head, I thought like I need to put on like this tough guy shit, like right now, like you better straighten up, because I don't know who I'm going to jail with, like.
Probably the regulars that just get drunk.
Yeah, I'm probably going to the drunk tank, like freaking
The drunk tank.
weenies, losers. I don't
They're
know.
just hungover.
Yeah, they're not doing it. Like, so I'm coming in there like like I just robbed a bank or something. Like I just did something really bad, and so yeah, all bloody nose. I don't even know if I get cleaned up, but I think I have to change, into the jumpsuit or whatever. And then I get put in the cell, and you know, immediately people started asking me like, "What'd you do?" I told the truth. I think I told the
Hell
truth.
yeah, that's a badass story.
I'm pretty sure I told the truth. They were like, "Man, you look fucked up. Like, what's going on?" And I was like, "Yeah, well, I just got done running from the cops like for a while." And they're like, "Oh, it's badass." Everybody's telling their story, and then, it just goes around in like a little circle. And this pretty much continues for like the rest of the night. Like, but when I got arrested, it was probably like 6. Sun was still out, so I get to jail during daylight, 6, 7 o'clock, and then, people are coming in little by little with different things, and everyone shares their story, like, but they have to do it again for the next person that comes in.
At any point were you laughing about your story? Like, oh, that's a good one. And you're like bonding, or
I
is
think
it?
it
You'd be like, I got the best story.
Yeah. Like I thought it was the
Wait till it's my
I thought it was
turn.
the coolest. Like, you go in, and the story probably changes a little bit. Like you add a little bit or something, but I mean, I'm pretty sure most of what I told was true. So like guys are coming in. I think I remember one guy for whatever reason like came in dressed like really nice. Like I swear, like the story that I remember is like he was a young kid, like he was at like his prom or something like that, and he had like gotten in a fight or something. So I'm like, oh, okay, like I'm not in here with like gangsters and shit, but like there was guys that were talking about, stuff that they had moved and like real bad stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, like that, like you did this, like cool, like damn.
Damn, you win.
Yeah, yeah. Like, hey, bro, you're a real criminal. I'm just a dude
Some
that,
biker gang type shit.
yeah, I'm just a dude that ran on his bike. So, yeah, being in jail, it is cold, which they tell you most. I mean, if you've heard stories from jail, it's cold, and the food sucks. So
We wouldn't know, but
Can't relate.
hopefully you never.
I like that for you though.
Hopefully you never find out. You know, I always like, yeah, I always have to learn the hard way and like experience things for myself. And I guess this was just one of those things that I had to experience. Um, but yeah, food sucks, super cold. But I know I'm gonna be in there for a while, like, cause they come back every once in a while and they're like Acuna, and they start telling you like, all right, like, um, it's gonna take us 6-7 hours for you to see a judge, and I'm like, damn, like, okay, I guess I'm stuck in here for now. At this point, I have no idea, bro. I could be in here for 12 hours or 12 years. I don't know. I have no idea. So, I'm eating this shitty food, and eventually, like, bro, I'm tired. Like, I don't know. I don't think most people would be able to sleep, but I can sleep anywhere. And so, I like curl up on the bench or on the floor or something, like with probably like 10 dudes in this cell, and I go to sleep. And I think I was shaking at some point because like it's cold. Like I said, I have no blanket, like no pillow, no nothing. Like, and you're pissing in front of people, and like, the lights are on. Like, they don't turn lights off for you, so you're just like there. Like, I'm probably shivering. And then the cop, or not the cop. I get awakened a couple times for different legal reasons, but I know at some point, like, this is weird. Like, I was like, this is how I know I'm not in here with like killers and thugs, because like somebody gave me a blanket, and I was like.
Like, here you go, man. You look
Yeah,
cold.
like, you look cold as fuck. Like, I can't sleep. Like, here, you can have the blanket. And
That's
I'm like,
funny.
all right, cool. So I go back to sleep, and the next thing I can remember is them bringing me in this pink piece of paper that I still have, and that's what told me like what charges I was being convicted of, and how much it was gonna cost. And you get these big numbers, bro. I'm talking big, and I'm like, I've never seen these numbers before in my life. I don't have these numbers in my bank account. So, um, it was evading arrest with a motor vehicle felony, $45,000. Reckless driving, $7,500. Resisting arrest, $7,500. Evading arrest, $3,500. And right now I'm adding it up, and that is $63,500 that it says on this piece of paper. And it might say something else, like I swore it said like over 100 G's or something. I don't know, who knows what it said. But anyways, I was just like, that's it, bro. Like, I don't have this kind of money. I don't know anybody who has this kind of money. Like, I'm staying in jail. Like, I'm staying in jail. I at this point I don't know anything about bail, how it works, if I can get it. I just think like, damn, like, bro, I'm just like, I'm stuck in here. Like, unless you can pay this amount, like, you're stuck in here. That's where my head goes to. And so I don't probably, I didn't go back to sleep after that. I don't know what time it was. Probably maybe 5 of them. I don't know. You don't have really like clocks in jail, so you're like, you don't know what time it is. And but I'm there, bro. Like, I'm eating like shitty breakfast, like cereal, and I don't know what, like crap.
Probably some stale ass tricks and
bad
stuff.
bad stuff. And so, like I said, time goes by, and I'm just like, life flashing before you. Like, I'm screwed, bro. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do to get out of this. And I think they asked me like, if I want to call somebody or something, and like, bro, I don't even want to call anybody. I'm like, who am I gonna call? Like,
Did he even call mom?
bro, I don't want to call my mom. I don't want to call my dad. Like, and like I said, I wish I had a better memory of it. But anyways, at some point, I find out that I'm gonna get out, and it's the next day already. So I'm like, well, who the hell got me out? Like, damn, like, who's coming to pick me up? Like, what? Like, I'm like, I don't know, how'd they get a hold of anybody? Like, how do they know who I am? Like, next of kin, whatever. And, yeah, it's like, I get on the phone with my parents, and it's like, my dad is the one talking, because he's remaining a little bit calmer, because it's my dad. Well, my mom's in the back, like, pissed, like, like, I'm pretty sure she was, like, pretty sad, too, like, like,
nervous or scared about her.
How could you, like, why would you do this? Like, what were you thinking? Blah, blah, blah. And my dad's like, oh, like,
Hope it was worth it.
yeah, like, we're gonna get you out, but I mean, shoot, like, we're not helping you out with any of this. Like, you're all on your own. Like, I don't know, we can't pay you $63,000 or whatever it costs to get me out. So, but anyways, I don't know, I'm like kind of relieved and kind of like, damn. So what does that mean? Like, can I just do time and like not have to pay this, or that's literally like that's where my mind goes, man. It goes all over the place. I'm like, bro, I'll just stay in here for a couple months. Like, fuck it, like.
Just the price.
Yeah, bro. Like,
Don't do the crimes. You can't do the time. You took that literal.
yeah, can I get a little discount or something? But anyways, my dad comes and picks me up, and I meet my bail guy there like pretty quick, and as soon as like my dad comes and picks me up, my dad's there with the bellman. I think my mom stayed at home with my brother and my little sister, and yeah, so he's just like, hey, look, man, like, I need you to sign these papers. This is what's going on. Like, it's gonna be 10% of whatever whatever that total was. And I'm pretty sure I gotta find the right paper, but I'm pretty sure it was like 10 G's for whatever reason. I don't know why on here it says this amount, but anyway, it's a lot of money. And so I'm like, bro, I gotta that's still a lot, but like, I'm glad to be out of jail. So basically, I signed this life over to this bellman, and he's some old school dude from Hondo or somewhere out there, and he's like, all right, son, well, you sign this, and you're promising me that you're gonna pay me all this money. I'm gonna get you out of here, and if you don't, well, then we're gonna put you right back in, and I'm gonna come find you. And so, I mean, bro, I'm just like a yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am kind of guy, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna take care of it like business. Like, all right, let's go home. And then the longest ride home from Hondo ever with my dad, just
Silence.
yeah, some silence, some kind of like, why, what were you thinking, what are you doing, you know what I mean? He's like, your mom was worried about you, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about like, anytime I took off on the bike, my parents, they hated it the whole time that I had it. They were probably like, is he gonna come back tonight? Is he gonna come back today? Like, so, me being gone overnight and not coming home was kind of odd. And, I'm pretty sure for them to find out that I had been arrested was kind of like a relief rather than like hey, your son's dead.
In the hospital or something, yeah.
Or, yeah, in an accident or worse. So, anyways, my mom was, it's bittersweet or, kind of pissed. And I don't want to put my dad's business out there, but, he's seen his share of the law before, and he knows, like, you just got to take care of business and, take care of, all this stuff, and don't try and avoid it. Like, you're going to stay here, you're going to pay this, yeah, there's no avoiding the law. So, I don't know, but, like, yeah, I'm on my ride home with my dad. Like, my dad's just pissed, man, and I'm defeated. I'm just like, man, I've never been this low before. Like, I don't have my bike, I don't have nothing. Like, it's Saturday morning, and I don't know, I still gotta go to work on Monday, and I don't even know if I'm gonna have a job. Did they call my job? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what happens, bro. And then, so things just start rolling like pretty quick.
What is life after being arrested and being convicted of those things?
Oh man, it's a lot of it's a long process. I still, like I said, this old man that I owed this money to, the bail guy. He always carried a revolver on him, and which is like, he's an old school, bro, cowboy. I don't even know if he's still alive. Like, he was that old, like, yeah. But he was the bail guy, and so every week or I don't know, bi-weekly, I think, anytime I got paid, I had to go pay this man. So, but I had to go from San Antonio to Hondo or
pay him in cash or what?
Or Cashville. I had to write him a check or something to pay him in cash. I forgot how I had to do it, but I had to hand it over to him. There wasn't no like electronic payment for this man. So I'm having to go do this, until I'm done paying him off, and it's a fat check, man. Like, it's a good amount that I'm paying this guy, and this is like before I even get arrested or like go back to court to be convicted. Like, I still just got to pay this guy. So doing that, I lawyer up. My mom, I think, found a guy. Mr. Hulse, another big countrywide dude, to take care of my case, and he was cool. You know, he was pretty positive about it. He was like, "Look, man, like you don't have any prior convictions. Uh, you're a student. You know, you're pretty seem like a pretty good kid. Like you just made a mistake, and you know we can use that in court. And so at least you have that going for you." It was like all this stuff is pretty strong evidence. You know, there's videos, and yeah, he's like, "You're not getting away. You're not getting out of any of this stuff. But as long as you do what you're told, and you know, I'm gonna help you out the best you can." So, you know, I had to go to court, man. He's like, I think I remember like him being like, you know, wear a nice shirt, you know what I mean, look the
Of course,
part,
yeah.
you know, don't be showing up like
Yeah.
looking like a thug or a scrub, and
Yep.
uh, so yeah, I had to do all that, and you know, judge hit the gavel, you know, the whole nine yards. You know, officers are there that I remember from that day. They had to testify, and you know it's a whole mess, bro. It's just a lot, like a lot of paperwork. You know, there's a lot of little fees that were tacked on. Like I'm talking like 285 for just to tow my bike. You know what I mean? Like uh, court fees. You know, all paying the lawyer. You know, lawyers aren't cheap, bro. You got to pay this guy. Like, come be a decent deal, but you know, all this money's just like flying away. I could see just dollar signs and just. Luckily, like I said, I had a pretty good job at the time, and I was still living at home, so you know, I was saving money. I was being good with it, but well, this money was just going down the drain. Like there goes all my savings, like straight to this crap. And yeah, so I think we already touched on it a little bit, but you know, it was sentenced to in order to I want this to get dropped off my record. Like I don't want people to see this forever. Like at this point I'm out, and like my head's a little clearer. I don't want to go to jail, so I'm like, I mean, I got money, I'll just pay it, I'll do what I gotta do. So I was again sentenced to 2 years of probation and 180 hours of community service at and how I did it was at city parks. So you know, I took forever to do it. Like I could have done this a lot quicker, but you know that was a whole thing in itself. Like 180 hours, not a short amount of time. You know, you're doing it in like 6 or 8 hour increments, depending. You know, and you're doing this on a weekend where you could be having your free time, hanging out with your friends. You know, um, and the probation I'm scared of because I'm like, dude, like you get caught with anything. You know, yeah, bro. You get caught picking a blue bonnet or freaking throwing a piece of trash out the window, like they're taking your ass right back to jail. So, uh, that was pretty scary for those 2 years. But yeah, you had to wake up every morning or every Saturday morning or Sunday morning, whatever, at around I don't know 4 or 5 ish in the morning and show up downtown to go clean trash at the parks, and that's what I was doing for a good amount of time until I was done with the 180 hours. You know, you're out there, you're at Pearsall Park, you're at parks I never even heard of and seen like in town, and you just like honestly, it's pretty relaxed, and like you're hanging out with other criminals. Still, same thing as like being in jail. You know, everyone's telling their tall tales and their stories and stuff, and uh, yeah, so you're just hanging out with the dudes for most of the day. You know, the workers. They'll take you to go get tacos or whatever. Like these are like little West Side dudes, like cool dudes, cool dudes. But it sucks to spend that amount of time like in these parks, and like luckily I never like ran into anybody I knew. You know what I mean? Because like we were at Rainbow Hills and
Yeah.
stuff. Like I was like, damn, I'm gonna run into my friends like freaking picking up trash or like family. And oh yeah, that's another thing that I don't know who knows. Still to this day, I don't know in my family who knows besides my mom, my dad, my and immediate family. Like I don't know. My parents probably told my grandparents, or maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't. Especially at that time, they didn't until things were played out. They didn't want that
Yeah.
that image to be out there. Like Fabian's freaking breaking the law, like he's a felon and stuff. So uh, just a long process, man. And along the way, I even got sent to AA for a couple meetings, and I have the sign-in sheet where I had to go, and this was coming due to me. Being on probation means that you're not allowed to drink. You're not allowed to do any drugs or anything like that. Like like you're not allowed to be. You have a curfew and all that, and the my probation officer asked me, have you drank or and like me being naive still, like
The honest
yeah,
Fabian.
honest. I was like, yeah, like I had a couple drinks the other day for a friend's birthday or something. Like I probably said like, I was like, but other than that, like no, not a lot. Like, but it didn't matter to them. It was like, have you drank or have you not drank? And so me admitting that I did, they were like, okay, well, you're going to AA meetings, and I was like, bro, how did I just add this onto my plate? Like what? Like come on, no luck whatsoever. Um, so that sucked too, man. Like you know, um, admitting to that, bro, I never told the truth again. Like if I had another drink after that point, bro, and nobody was gonna know. Like I was like, nah, I ain't saying nothing. Like, and I passed all the piss tests, all the drug tests. I never said I was drinking again. Never got a ticket. So I made it through the 2 years of probation, luckily without any issues. But I remember going to AA meetings, and you're in there with like some
Real.
real alcoholics. Like I think I even showed up to one, and I was probably like a little buzzed or something.
You
I could
stupid.
smell it on me, bro. They're alcoholics, like real ones, bro. Like you give you a little chip, that's like, yeah, I
6 months
bro,
or a
oh
year,
my
yeah.
god, it's so whack, bro. They make you go around the room and like tell your story and say like, oh, I've been sober. Like my name is Fabian Acuna, and I'm this and so and so years old, and I'm from San Antonio, and I've been sober for 10 days, and then everybody around the room like claps for you, like, bro. It doesn't matter if it's 10 years or 10 days, and they're like, and then like, bro, there's some people that were like, they would come back from the meeting and like be like, I've been sober for 0 days, and I'm like, ah, damn, we fucked up. But anyways, like being in a room full of for real alcoholics was like, I just didn't. They didn't feel like I belonged there at all. I was like,
Yeah.
what? Why am I here? So, yeah, man, I made it through. Spent a lot of money, and
Does the repercussions of this still affect you to this day?
yeah,
How so?
yep, definitely. I mean, I've had multiple instances. Luckily, I have a good job right now, and I recently, man, the most recent thing that happened was I was supposed to go work at a facility in Houston, and they did a background check apparently, and my arrest still popped up. Like I finished everything, I did everything they wanted me to. Deferred adjudication. I still am not reading these law books or whatever, but I thought I was like clear. I thought I was good because I passed multiple background tests. Like you gotta, there's like levels to background tests, so or checks. So um, I guess I could get past the level one, but if you do a level two, like you'll find it or something. So they found it, and my boss, I've been working for him for 4 years already, and he's like, "Hey, man, like, well, why aren't you allowed to go in?" And I had to explain like that this is what happened, like back in 2015. Years ago, I was yeah. So yeah, I still have to explain myself, to certain people, and you know, it's a little embarrassing, but luckily my boss is like a super cool dude, and he's like, "No, man, don't worry about it. Like that happened a long time ago. Like it's nothing serious, but apparently, like you're not gonna be able to work there, so like that sucks. Like you're not gonna be able to do that job. It's gonna cost us money." But before that, I was applying for other jobs before I got this job that I currently have, and I ended up getting one accepted for a job in Indianapolis, and they flew me out there. They wined and dined me. They took care of me. I passed like with flying colors. Can you fix a machine? Can you
Yeah.
do this, do that? And I think they're already at the process of like they're gonna hire me, and like I said, or they get a call. The guy gets a call, the instructor, and I immediately know like it's not good. Like this is I know what the call's about. Like I don't know why. Just had like a feeling. Even going over there, I was like, did they not do a background check, or like did I pass it? Like is this just gonna get fly under the radar? And the dude has to tell me like there in Indianapolis, like we can't hire you. Like you have a whatever
Yeah.
class, whatever
Damn.
felony. And so yeah, multiple things, man. I mean, even like at some point, I remember going to, being interested in the military and going to talk to a recruiter, and you know, they can help you with some of like the lower charges or things like that, but they can't take you with a felony. Like, you can't vote. Like, you can like for a certain amount of time. Like, so, yeah. Dude, there's a lot of stuff. It's just a lot, and yeah, it adds up, and it definitely takes a toll. To this day, I still have tickets that I need to pay because I guess the felonies and misdemeanors weren't enough. Like, they still added like regular speeding tickets, like following too closely, unsafe lane change, unsafe passing. So like, I still get letters in the mail that's like, hey, you owe money to the Medina County. So yeah, hopefully Medina County doesn't
Make
see
sure you
this.
pay them tickets.
Yeah, I know, bro. 7-8 years later, I still ain't paid them tickets.
Damn.
So it's just a never-ending thing, man. Eventually, one day it'll be maybe a little less, but it's always gonna be there. Like, it's always gonna be a.
Well, needless to say, sounds like you've had better days than that.
Yeah, that was not one of my better days. May 15, 2015, what day?
I think that's a pretty good wrap for our first official episode. I mean, what better way to talk than to talk about Fabian evading arrest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get asked like it's quite a bit, like, would you do it again? And the answer is no. Nah, I wouldn't do it again. I mean, at least not get caught again,
At least not get
Nah,
caught.
but for real, it's pretty serious. Like the officer was saying, you know what I mean? Like, it's never the dummy that gets hurt, and somebody, could have got scared that I was like going 165 miles an hour and like lost control or like hurt a cop, and like, bro, imagine the kind of trouble that I would have got in because of that. And so, nah, I wouldn't run again. Like, you know what I mean? You can have your fun on the bike, haul ass all you want, but it. You still,
No, obey the law.